Special counsel Jack Smith, who is prosecuting former President Donald Trump in Florida for his alleged retention of classified documents, accused the judge overseeing that case on Tuesday of making a fundamentally flawed request regarding jury instructions. Smith said that U.S. District Judge Aileen had made a request for jury instructions on a faulty legal premise regarding the possession and storage of classified information. And if allowed to stand, he said it would distort the eventual trial of the former president in the Southern District of Florida. Cannon had asked both Smith's office and attorneys representing Trump to assume in jury instructions that the former president either was permitted to declassify some of the files considered in the case, or that jurors must determine individually which documents were presidential or personal. The instructions came as a response to a motion that the Trump legal team filed last month, arguing that the Presidential Records Act of 1978 authorized the former president to designate some of the sensitive documents as his personal property after he left the White House. But Smith, in his Tuesday filing, argued against that, saying the president had no such executive authority and that this distinction between personal and presidential records, based on a portion of the Espionage Act, had, quote, no bearing on Trump's alleged retention of national defense information. He said that that should play no role in any of the jury instructions, and it should not play a role in the upcoming trial, which is currently scheduled for July 8th. Smith floated the option of appealing to higher courts if Cannon allowed that instruction to stand, and also voiced concerns about any further delays in the trial, which has already been pushed back once, and could, if pushed back further, move after Election Day 2024. Trump attorneys Todd Blanche and Christopher Kisey fired back in a Tuesday court filing of their own, arguing that the bulk of the charges that their client faces for improper retention of national classified defense information remained unconstitutionally vague. They further argued for a renewed motion to dismiss the case under the Presidential Records Act. They said that the prosecution was based on official acts that Trump took during his first term. They also argued that Cannon should hold off on any pretrial ruling in the case until the Supreme Court can consider a separate appeal, which Trump's attorneys made to the Supreme Court earlier this year, arguing that many of the acts Trump took for a separate federal indictment related to the 2020 election were covered by presidential immunity and may also have bearing on the Florida case. Smith indicted Trump on 40 counts last year for his willful retention of classified documents, misleading federal authorities, and obstructing justice, among other charges. The charges followed a back and forth between the former president and the National Archives over documents that he retained at his Mar-a-Lago estate, many of which were handed over, but some of which were seized by the FBI during an August 8, 2022 raid on his home. President Biden escaped federal charges of his own for willfully retaining classified information, according to a separate special counsel's investigation by Robert Hur. He ultimately chose not to charge the president because a jury might well view Biden as an elderly man with a poor memory.